Scyther fires off the Night Slash, getting Mucklow. We see the Snipe with Butterfree getting a running start. Out comes Umbreon, one of the thickest mon in the format, with these legacy bug bites tearing through their HP stat. The opponent going to strike first, firing off the foul play, and ouch, that hurt. The next one will be lethal. However, Butterfree able to outpace to the Bug Buzz, but is Bug Buzz enough to knock out? Well, you have to watch the video to find out. So welcome back to the channel. Buckle up, because today we have one banger of a battle submission for one of our resident Spice Lords, adriqqq. adriqqq is a battler I've featured a few times in the past, and he is always rocking some insane spice, and today is no different. adriqqq is going to be testing out one of the newly released Shadow Pokemon. The most recent Team Rocket takeover saw the release of Shadow Caterpie. adriqqq is not only testing out Butterfree, but he's also invested in Elite TM to give it its legacy move of Bug Bite. To help Butterfree perform, we're going to be running an ABB double bug strategy with Scyther, not even Sizzle. We're going to be running its pre-evolution Scyther, acting as the bait out mon, allowing Butterfree to sweep the back line. To cover these bug weaknesses, we are going with Mismagius in the lead, a Pokemon that got access to psywave this season, something I've used myself, and my god does this thing hit hard. Without any further ado, let's get into the battles. And in game one, adriqqq sees an absolutely beautiful lead. Shadow on Shadow Cry Mismagius into Tentacle. The opponent needs to pivot or these sideways will tear him apart. The opponent save switches into Drapion. We see the charge move bank and the save switch into Scyther. Scyther, a very glassy Pokemon, not going to appreciate the damage output of Drapion. The opponent fires off the Aqua Tail. This next Aqua Tail won't quite be lethal, but we're essentially just completely sacrificing it. adriqqq tanks the next Aqua Tail, returns fire with the Night Slash. The opponent invests the Protect Shield, probably fearful we're running X-Scissor. We haven't got it, but you've always got to fake it till you make it. adriqqq now sends out Butterfree. Butterfree, with his legacy Bug Bite, it's going to start chunking through Drapion's HP stat. The opponent pivots back out into Tentacle. adriqqq goes for the wham, bam, combo play. Fires off the Dark Pulse. Tentacle unable to reach a charge move. And Mismagius gets the Psywave farm down. Back out comes Drapion. Mismagius still not done. Fires off the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse supposed to be resisted, but Mismagius does not care about type-ins. adriqqq sees the opportunity to go for the one shield. Psywave farm down. Trainer, what's that third? Out comes Clodsire. The opponent going to have a very tough time. A Poison Sting farming down a Ghost type. adriqqq full sends the Shadow Ball. The opponent shows little respect, near get one shot, and just like that, adriqqq is going to be off to a 1-0 start. adriqqq tanks the Stone Edge. He's going to go for that resisted Bug Bite farm down, and Butterfree is a Clodsire counter confirmed. GG's, and thanks for playing. My, Mismagius absolutely popping off in game number one. In the next battle, we see Mismagius into Azumarill. A pretty neutral matchup. From experience, if Azumarill doesn't shield this Shadow Ball, it does so much damage. As you can see, holy cow. I was recently discussing Mismagius in my Discord server. I honestly think if this gets access to a 35 energy charge move, it's going to be top meta, much like Dust Noir. Before it got access to Astonish and Shadow Punch, it was absolute arse. Now it's got Astonish as a good quick move, and Shadow Punch a good 35 energy move. It is top meta, and Mismagius will also fall into the same category should Niantic wish to give it a 35 energy charge move. However, we got distracted. We soft lose the Zero Shields, send out Scyther. Scyther gets that Fury Cutter farm down, and out comes Muck. Muck going to be greeted with the Night Slash. adriqqq unfortunately doesn't get the boost, and he does get outpaced. We see the instant shield deployed from adriqqq. adriqqq blocks up the Thunder Punch, and he's going to be able to outpace to the double Night Slash. Where does the opponent spend that final shield? The opponent opts to shield the Night Slash, but Scyther going to be able to outpace to this next Night Slash. I don't think this will quite be lethal. Let's see. Night Slash gets the opponent low. We see adriqqq snipe with the Bug Bite getting a running start. Out comes Umbreon, one of the thickest mon in the format, but these legacy Bug Bites tearing through their HP stat. Umbreon fires off the foul play, and that does so much damage. The next one will be lethal, but Butterfree able to outpace to the Bug Buzz. Is this enough to knock out? Yes, it is. Get that Umbreon off my screen, and adriqqq going to emerge victorious. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we see a dreadful lead, but adriqqq with two very nice answers in the back with his double bug strategy. We see adriqqq save switch into Scyther, fire off the Night Slash. Night Slash commands a Protect Shield. The opponent then pivots out into Azumarill, and this is where that Trailblaze is going to come in clutch. We're not a grass type, but Scyther have a pretty decent attack stat, cleanly going to be able to two-shot. I really liked how adriqqq overfarmed in that opening matchup again, faking an X-Scissor onto that Greninja, hence the opponent shielded. adriqqq shields up the Ice Beam. Once again, he is not baiting. Looking to remove a Azumarill from the field of play. Trailblaze goes unshielded. And out comes Drifblim. Drifblim not going to appreciate this. Double boosted Night Slash. Night Slash. Holy, Nier gets the one-hit KO. Mismagius gets the Psywave farm down. We see adriqqq spamming the switch. Did we just catch the Night Slash? Yes, we did. And that is a game-winning catch as adriqqq can just shield that next move up. Commit to that Bug Bite farm down. And the opponent can save that final shield for next season. A very, very well played game. GG's. Heading into the next battle. We see Shadow Mismagius into Malamar. Possibly the worst matchup we could ever see, as our Psywaves are going to be triple resisted. We see the save switch into Scyther. The opponent makes a very nice Night Slash catch onto Wigglytuff. Trainer, you made the catch and you shield a resisted charge move. I'm not complaining, but that was a very strange play. Scyther able to fire off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze gets off some very valuable chip damage, getting Wigglytuff down below half health. It's very nice to bait this thing out again, so our Butterfree doesn't have to see it. It looks like adriqqq looking for the one shield. Full Psywave farm down. Getting one of them hard-hitting charge moves ready to go. Mismagius does get that full Psywave farm down, but leaves insanely low. We see the pivot into Butterfree, and out comes Ariados. Unless the opponent's on Shadow Sneak, Butterfree going to be a complete wall to this energy, but we've already seen that Butterfree is a very glassy Pokemon. adriqqq going to fire off the Psychic. Come on, trainer. Just let it go. It's just a bug move, I promise. Oh, man. The opponent invests that Protect Shield. And I think there's quite literally no way of winning this game. Let's see. We need to try and farm up to double charge moves. Mismagius rapidly running out of HP. Going to fire off the Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse will be moving the Spider from the field of play. Back out comes Malamar. I think the opponent's made a mistake throwing here. Can we reach the Dark Pulse? Oh, no. There is no shot. Is this Dark Pulse enough to knock out? Why did I ever doubt Mismagius? Holy crap, what a win! adriqqq is always one of my favourite battlers to shoutcast. He always has me on the edge of my seat. In the next battle, we see Mismagius into Clodsire. The opponent save switches into Wigglytuff. We see the Shadow Ball banked and the save switch into Scyther. Yeah, Charmers are such a problem for us. Again, we're going for a very risky Night Slash bait. Or perhaps it isn't that risky, let's be real. Charmers essentially shield everything and try and just tap their way to victory. We fire off the Trailblaze. Trailblaze goes unshielded and gets this annoying Marshmallow down into the red health range. I see you, adriqqq. We're sending out Butterfree, looking for that resisted Bug Bite farm down. And hopefully we can nuke that stupid Clodsire with the Psychic. adriqqq banks his energy. Sends back out Mismagius, and the opponent sends out Alolan Marowak. Alolan Marowak shields the Dark Pulse, then pivot back out into the unshielded Clodsire. Mismagius looking primed to sweep. We have to shield this. We shield up the Stone Edge. adriqqq needs to put on an energy management clinic here. I guess Dark Pulse and Psywave farm down. Is that the play? It looks like a good play. No! This stupid bulky Clodsire able to reach the Stone Edge. Yeah, I said it last time, but I think this is an unwinnable game. A non-stab Psychic isn't going to be enough to knock out. The opponent tanks the damage. adriqqq going to say, you've got me, trainer. And unfortunately, we are going to concede the match. GG's to that opponent. Come on, Jamie, compose yourself. In the next battle, we see Mismagius into Ariados. Trainer, you are not going to appreciate this matchup. Trailblaze will hit for neutral. If the opponent goes for a stupid lunge bait, that would be resisted. The opponent fire off the Trailblaze. Before pivoting out into, I actually can't even see what's on the screen. Scyther, move your bloody arm. It's Hisuian Quillfish. Quillfish fires off the Aqua Tail. We return fire with the Night Slash. Night Slash gets us the boost, but the boost isn't really going to help in this situation. Regardless, we're just going to tank the next Aqua Tail, soft lose this mid game, and send out Butterfree. Butterfree able to get a very nice running start. We've already seen that Ariados is completely walled here, although the resisted lunge does far too much damage. The opponent is going to be able to outpace, likely firing off the lunge, and we're going to see adriqqq invest the Protect Shield. We then see the charge move bank, the pivot back out into Mismagius. Mismagius overfarms, fires off the Dark Pulse, force to Protect Shield the opponent, then send out Greninja. Greninja, in theory, should completely wall us, but Shadow Ball going to hit insanely hard. My, the opponent near gets one shot. The damage output from this team today adriqqq has put together is absolutely sickening. Holy. Back out comes Ariados. No one move will knock us out. adriqqq going to be able to get that resisted. A bug bite farm down, and we take that game. Heading into the next battle. And what shenanigans has this one got in store for us? Well, we're off to a good start. A commanding lead. Mismagius into Kanto Muck. The opponent try their luck catching a Dark Pulse onto Obstagoon, and the Obstagoon save switch is hard punished by Scyther. Well, perhaps not that hard punished. We do double resist the counters as both bug and flying. It does resist fighting, but with no X's of this matchup, it's probably a lot closer than you would hope. Obstagoon's pacing this season heavily affected by the counter nerf. They used to only take 5 counters to each Night Slash. They're now taking 6, which is quite a big difference, to be honest. Scyther fires off the Night Slash. Night Slash isn't quite lethal. The opponent save the Obstagoon at a sliver of HP and then send back out Muck. Muck tanks the Night Slash. How do we play this? It looks like we're going to send out Mismagius, and we're kind of forced to respect the Dark Pulse as that will one-shot us. Mismagius has very, very little bolt. adriqqq does invest that Protect Shield, get that full Psywave farm down. Back out comes Obstagoon. Obstagoon gets sniped with a Bug Bite, and out comes Venomoth. Where else are you going to see some Moth versus Butterfly action other than here? adriqqq fires off the Psychic. Psychic forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. The opponent going to commit to that full Confusion farm down, leaving with the charge move. But Mismagius has the higher attack stat, able to win the charge attack priority, and Shadow Ball is going to pick up the dub. GG's, and thanks for playing. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Mismagius into Charger Bug. A pretty neutral matchup, and one we're likely going to have to stay in, as Scyther certainly does not appreciate tanking any form of super effective damage, especially not a Volt Switch. The opponent fires off the Discharge. adriqqq just about able to hang on and reach the Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball hopefully goes unshielded, which it does, and there's another big boom. Chalk that one up on the big boom counter. Out comes Greninja. We see the save switch into Scyther. Scyther going to tear through Greninja with the Fury Cutter damage. The opponent forced to Protect Shield and then send out Swalot. King GBL, if you're watching, buddy, I'm still saying Swalot's the GOAT. I'm just kidding. It's not the GOAT. It's a pretty good slept on pick in my humble opinion. It's a very bulky poison type. It even classifies into Danota's category of Pokemon with good stat product. It's got over 2,000 stat product in the Great League, which is very respectable. Swalot arguably not as good as it once was, as it is using Mud Shot as a quick move, which generates less energy, and its charge moves are very expensive. Speaking of which, adriqqq makes a very nice catch back onto the low health Mismagius. I've doubted Butterfree in the past, but this is going to be a near impossible Bug Bite farm down, and the opponent still has a Protect Shield. We fire off the Psychic. Psychic forces the opponent's final Protect Shield. We're going to see adriqqq invest his own final Protect Shield, blocking up the incoming Ice Beam. Back out comes Greninja. Greninja able to reach a charge move. Can Butterfree hang on? No it cannot, and Greninja is going to pick up the one-hit KO, and this time it's us getting boomed. GG's to that opponent. Heading into the next battle. This one's going to be a blink, and you might miss it. Straight fast move beatdown. Shadow Claw tearing through us, and the Psywaves tearing through Haunter. adriqqq going to look for that one shield attemptive Psywave farm down, which we just about get, leaving it quite literally 1 HP and a dream. We bank the charge move, see the save switch into Scyther, baiting out Marwile. Marwile going to be a pretty good wall to all of this energy, but they have a very glassy Pokemon, and Scyther hits very hard. This Marwile is going to provide quite a problem for us. They fire off the Iron Head, removing us from the field of play. Butterfree going to be pretty walled as well. We send out Mismagius. Come on, trainer, just let it go. You don't need this Marwile. Shadow Ball does go unshielded. The opponent saving their 2 shields for Leavanny, and they can save them shields for next season. adriqqq going to be able to tank any one move, and then I guess it's just going to be a fast move beatdown to the finish. The opponent isn't going to be able to reach the 2 charge moves required to win this game. adriqqq going to shield up the next move, Bug Bite farm down, and we take that game. I think that battle would have went very differently if the opponent just shielded up the Shadow Ball. But it is what it is. Heading into the next battle, we see Mismagius into Grimer. A very nice lead for us. Our Psywaves do hit for super effective, and they are absolutely shredding this Grimer apart. The opponent won't even reach another charge move. They'll likely pivot after this. The opponent does pivot, sending out Azumarill, and Azumarill is going to be greeted with the Shadow Ball to the face. Shadow Ball! Boom! Goes unshielded. That is such hilarious damage. Azumarill might think it's thick, but Mismagius begs to differ. The opponent now shield up the Dark Pulse, which was thrown on the CMP tie. adriqqq says, Mismagius, you've had enough fun. Give someone else some action. Elects to let it go down. Sends out Scyther. Scyther overfarms before firing off the Night Slash. Night Slash, to my surprise, forces a Protect Shield. We get the boost, and the opponent switches out into Greninja. Trainer, that was not the play. Holy cow, Greninja almost straight in and straight out. Able to reach a departing charge move. The opponent fire off the Night Slash, securing the knockout. We send out Butterfree. Butterfree able to get the Bug Bite farm down. Back out. Comes Grimer, the opponent going to be unable to reach any charge move that's going to do any meaningful damage. I personally would have shield flexed here, but it is what it is. We're going to invest that Protect Shield, commit to the Bug Bite farm down, leaving with the Psychic. Psychic going to return Azumarill to its Pokeball. Back out comes Grimer, we resisted Bug Bite farm down and take that game. Heading into the next battle, we lead Shadow Mismagius into Alolan Muk. This one isn't a good matchup for us. Dark, double resist Psychic. Poison does take super effective, so our Psywaves are going to be single resisted. We see the Say Switch into Scyther. Scyther fires off the Night Slash, which the opponent catches onto Primarina. And it's quite interesting that people keep catching Night Slashes when they would be resisted and shielding anyway. That allows Scyther to fire off the Trailblaze, picking up that clean one-hit KO. Back out comes Alolan Muk. The opponent likely don't shield this. Oh gosh, what is going on? We've revealed our full moveset. Poison, resist grass, and dark resist darks. There was no need for the opponent to shield that whatsoever. Out comes Greninja, and stay in school, kids. Learn to count. Mismagius has been the MVP, if we're being brutally honest, but this time it's used as the third shield. adriqqq now finds himself in a near unlosable position, outside of him having a heart attack or the game lugging out. We've got two Protect Shields. We block up the Night Slash bait, but no bait. We'll be saving this opponent's fate. Butterfree leaves with the Bug Buzz. I can't believe we lose this charge attack priority, but it doesn't matter. We've got a Protect Shield to hide behind. We shield up the Dark Pulse, return fire with the Bug Buzz, and Bug Buzz gonna be all she wrote. GG's, and thanks for playing. I've just checked on PvPoke. Butterfree has a 126 attack stat compared to Muk's 117. I'm not really sure what happened in that in-game. We might have got some kind of desync, but if that wasn't CMP, we would have seen a snarl come through, which we didn't. Oh man, this game's so broken at times. Heading into the next battle. adriqqq led Mismagius into Victubel. Victubel quite literally has nowhere to run and nowhere to hide on this team. We Say Switched into Scyther. The opponent answered our Scyther Say Switch with Fortress, which is by no means a good matchup. We're able to survive the Mirror Shot, fire off back-to-back Night Slashes, leaving them quite low on HP. We now send out Mismagius. Mismagius can easily tank a Mirror Shot and commit to that resisted Psywave farm down. Mirror Shot doesn't do too much, but does get that very annoying attack drop. We pivot out into Butterfree. The opponent's third Pokemon is Clodsire. If we was running Confusion, I think it would be home and dry. But on Bug Bite, this is going to be a very tricky matchup. adriqqq shields up the Stone Edge, returns fire with the Psychic. Psychic likely forces a Protect Shield. No, Trainer, what are you doing? adriqqq also not looking to shield this, perhaps gifting an opportunity for the opponent to potentially raise a leaf or Magical Leaf farm us down. Back out comes Mismagius. Mismagius gets the Psywave farm down. The opponent's on Magical Leaf. They look for that Magical Leaf farm down. We hold strong. Just about able to Psywave farm down and take a very close game. GG's, and thanks for playing. And that is going to wrap things up for today's rollercoaster shoutcast. adriqqq, as always, my friend, you do not disappoint. That was very crazy at times, and I'll be honest, very difficult to shoutcast with some very strange plays from our opponents. But if you're enjoying that content, smash that like button. If you're new, consider subscribing if you'd like your battles featured on my channel. A link to my battle submission form is down below. And as always, a huge thank you to everyone for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.